All right, today we're diving into the wealth playbook from entrepreneur Alex Hormozi. And trust me, it's all built on a handful of powerful mindset shifts that could totally change the way you think about money. You know, it's a question that trips up so many people. You're smart, you work hard, you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, but for some reason, the needle just isn't moving. So what's the deal? Well, according to Hormozi, the answer isn't about working harder or being some kind of genius. It's actually about changing the core operating system in your brain. So let's get into the first and honestly, the most important upgrade. Okay, first up, this is the absolute foundation of his entire philosophy. How you see money, like at your very core, well, that dictates every single financial decision you're ever going to make. See, most of us are taught to see money as a trophy, right? It's the reward for a job well done. It's a status symbol, something to show off. But Hormozi just flips that whole idea on its head. For him, money isn't the prize, it's the tool. Think of it like a hammer you use to build things, to buy back your time, hire the right people, or create systems that work for you. It totally takes the emotion out of it and just focuses on what it can do. And this quote, it just nails the core of that tool mindset. The game isn't about collecting money. It's about creating real value for other people. Money, that's just the scorecard. It tells you how much value you've put out into the world. So if you shift your focus from getting money to creating value, the money just naturally follows. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it means you stop wasting your precious brain power on what he calls dollar decisions, agonizing over a $5 coffee. Instead, you pour all that focus into million-dollar decisions, the big moves that shape your entire future. Are you in the right business model? Are you hiring A players? Those are the choices that have real game-changing leverage. All right, so we've got the foundational mindset locked in. Now, let's dig into how that way of thinking turns into a practical, step-by-step blueprint you can actually use. And here's something that I find really fascinating. Hormozi completely pushes back on this myth that you need to be a genius to get wealthy. You don't need some brilliant, world-changing idea. Nope, you just need to be consistently, not stupid. Seriously, just consistently avoiding big, dumb mistakes over a long stretch of time will always beat being a flash-in-the-pan genius. And this is pretty much the not stupid formula right here. And it is shockingly simple. Number 1, spend less than you earn. That's just the price of admission, non-negotiable. 2, avoid debt, especially early on. It's just an anchor that will sink you. 3, invest that extra cash, not just in stocks, but in you, in skills that make you better at creating value. And finally, number 4, just do that over and over and let the magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting. A huge piece of this discipline comes down to your goals. Are they vanity-driven or value-driven? See, vanity goals, the fancy car, the flashy watch, those are traps. They just lead to lifestyle creep that eats away at all your hard work. But value-driven goals, those are about buying your freedom back, getting control of your time, and making a real impact. These are the goals that fuel reinvestment, not just spending. So, let's walk through the process. It starts with building that surplus, saving up some cash. Then, you take that surplus and you reinvest it. You plant those seeds for future growth. Along the way, you have to fight off the temptation to just upgrade your lifestyle and spend it all. Because the end goal isn't just a pile of cash, it's the freedom and the value you've created. It's all about replanting your profits, not just eating the fruit as soon as it's ripe. Okay, this brings us to the final, and I'd argue the most powerful piece of this entire puzzle. This is the secret sauce, the force multiplier that makes the whole blueprint actually work. And it's all about playing the long game. I really want this quote to sink in for a second. When you force yourself to make decisions based on where you want to be in, say, 10 or 20 years, it's amazing. It just filters out all the short-term noise, all the distractions. It makes it crystal clear what actually matters and what's just a passing temptation. And the long game is 100% about compounding. Now, we usually think about this with money, right? But Hormozi's point is that it applies to everything. Your skills compound over time. Your reputation compounds. Your network, your relationships, they all compound. Every good move you make, every new skill you pick up, it all builds on itself. And that's what creates those crazy exponential returns way down the line. This long-term focus also makes it obvious why trying to time the market or chase the latest hot trend is just a total waste of time. It's a short-term game that pulls you away from the real work. It tempts you to panic, pull your money out, break that all-important consistency, and stop that slow, powerful, unstoppable force of compounding right in its tracks. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Look, the goal isn't to be some perfect fortune teller. The goal is to set a good system in motion and then, and this is the hard part, have the discipline to just leave it alone. Don't be the reason your own plan fails. Whatever you do, don't interrupt compounding. All right, so let's bring it all home. How can you start putting these powerful mindset shifts into practice like today? So here are the 4 big takeaways. Number 1, your focus should be on creating value, not just chasing money. Number 2, you got to protect your progress. That means avoiding debt and silly distractions. 3, invest in the things that compound. Your skills and your relationships are huge here. And finally, number 4, change your time horizon. Start thinking in decades, not in days. So I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. As you go about your week, just ask yourself this: where's my mental energy really going? What's the $1 million decision right in front of me that I'm putting off just because I'm too busy sweating the small stuff? Seriously, the answer to that question, it might just change everything for you.